right, you guys, here we are in literally the most baller Toyota money can buy. The most baller Toyota, not only that money can buy today, but money could buy back in 1997 when this was brand new. So already, this is the quietest 90s car I've ever driven. Hands down, this cost about, I believe Dave was saying it cost kind of in today's dollars, around $180,000 back in the day. That's ridiculous. So it really is a kind of up in the ranks with the Maybachs of the world, the Rolls Royce, the Bentleys, the S-Class Mercedes of the world and at the time. Now, this is clearly not a sports sedan. This is absolutely the opposite. Now, I know we don't do a lot of luxury cars on this channel, but this is the most luxurious car, most luxurious Japanese car I've ever driven. So many cool things to go over in this video. So we're gonna talk to Dave, and we're gonna get Dave to show us some of the cool kind of 90s things that you don't normally see on other Toyotas from this time period. So most notably, under the hood here is a 5-liter V12. Okay, 5-liter V12. Now, if you guys don't know, back in the 90s, all of the Japanese manufacturers had a gentleman's agreement, I'm sure some of you are completely familiar with, where horsepower was not rated. They all agreed that they would not rate their vehicles over 276 horsepower to kind of keep the competition and the horsepower wars, which we've seen get so ridiculous over the last 10 years especially, and to kind of curb that unnecessary kind of just one-upping each other, right? But what that just resulted in, inevitably, and we know this with the Supra and the GTRs of the time, were obviously engines that were underrated from the manufacturer, just naturally. They would just stick the 276 there, even though they may be made closer to 300 at the wheels, right? All right, you guys, behind me is a really cool car, a car that we've never filmed on the channel before, and I believe I'm correct in saying this is the second V12 we've ever had on the channel, the first being our good friend Sid's DB9. Behind me is a 1997 Toyota Century, named after, I believe, one of the founders of Toyota, for the anniversary, for the 100th anniversary of his birthday, which is pretty fantastic. So it was originally produced and engineered back in 1967, but of course this is a 97, so it is the first year of the second generation. We've got the owner Dave with us here today, and we're gonna go over a few things about the car. How's it going, Dave?
Good, you?
Pretty good, now that we have a V12 behind us.
Those were my thoughts when it got off the boat too.
So yeah, so you were telling me you literally had never seen one of these, driven one of these, or anything before you imported it from Japan.
Oh, that's not. I had never seen, driven, or been next to a V12.
Right, because they came in V8 as well.
When at the auto salon, I was beside the first Gen 1, so the V8. That was absolutely slammed and it looked killer.
Yeah.
And then they also had a brand new, because that was the first year of the new third gen Century.
Right.
But I'd never been beside a V12 one.
So here's kind of a similar story The 5-liter V12 under the hood was rated at 276 horsepower and about 315 pound-feet of torque at the crank. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but at the same time, in any other kind of smaller Japanese sports car of the time, that's plenty. In a lightweight car, 315 pound-feet of torque, that'll get you going along, get you scooting along pretty good. But here in the Century, a vehicle that weighs a ridiculous amount of weight, what you need is torque, and what you need is a smooth V12. This is the only Toyota ever fitted with a V12. This 5-liter V12 only was put and engineered for the Toyota Century. Completely bespoke for this car, which is really cool. The only other kind of high-cylinder engine that was put in a Toyota was, I guess, the V10 in the Lexus LFA, which is a, now, I mean, you're talking 750,000 and above, close to $1 million, and that's a straight-up supercar. So, as far as Toyota's history goes, this is absolutely one of the most important luxury sedans of the era, and one of the longest-running Japanese executive sedans.
You can't go into a Toyota dealer and buy one.
Right.
You have to be a corporation, a government official, or a diplomat. That's the only 3 ways you get one brand new. Beyond that, you have to get them from auction like I did. So yeah, it's a pretty special car.
You have plans, or you had plans until you saw how clean it was, correct me if I'm wrong, to, like you're saying, take out this V12, stick twin turbos on it, and put it in your Celica.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. That's crazy.
That's actually still going to happen.
Yes, right.
This car is actually going up for sale. It was, like I said, just too clean to do that too.
Yeah.
It's a complete car, and I don't actually need anything out of it for the swap.
Yeah.
So at that point, there's no reason to just pull the motor. It's worth a fair chunk of money. So I'm gonna sell it and then put that into the car.
When this car came out, this was, and you can see this with the symbol, I forget what the symbol is actually called on the front of the hood there. You can see this symbol on multiple locations around Tokyo and at the Emperor's Palace, and that is because the Prime Minister of Japan and the Emperor would be driven around in the Toyota Century, in this car, and only this car. Okay, so Toyota basically kept this car under wraps and kept it kind of exclusive for the top executives and top government officials for countries around the world that would have it. Okay, which is phenomenal. So there were actually about 100 of these produced in left-hand drive for a number of other European and Asian countries, made specifically for government officials. You could not go into a Toyota dealership and just buy a Century. And in fact, to this day, I think they made the Century till about 2017, 2018, correct me if I'm wrong, but you definitely can't just go into a dealership and buy one of these cars. Also, on the flip side of that, Toyota did not want to position this as a like status symbol, so to speak. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Rolls Royces, Mercedes, and Maybachs are like, people aspire and to own one of those just to elicit a reaction from the lesser fortunate people on the road who may look at you with jealous eyes or what have you, right? Toyota did purposely, very much on purpose, did not want to market this car to those people. It was more a working man's kind of respectable, conservative approach to success.
Should we get you to have a seat?
Oh, yes. Take me for a ride, sir. Oh, this is cool, because usually you guys, on a lot of these Japanese cars, you actually do find a lot of English in them, but this is kind of crazy. I've never seen any other JDM cars that have full characters.
So you are in the VIP seat. So you would have, your driver would be up front, I'm sitting where your assistant would be, and that would be you to relax.
Yeah.
Now, for one thing to relax, nothing like watching TV, listening to music.
This is getting crazy, dude.
Oh, it's getting even better.
Wow, what the F? What is that? A tape deck?
Branded tape deck.
Whoa. This is crazy. Oh, this brings me back, man. I used to have a paper route. I'd have a tape deck on that shit.
Branded headphones.
Whoa. How crazy is it that you got all of these things with it original?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I could see why you wouldn't want to pull out the engine now.
Yeah. Next up. So,
oh my god, this is way more insane. This is why I wanted to have this on camera for the first time.
So we're gonna give you a little bit more leg room.
Whoa, and you've got vents down there for your feet too.
Yep. I'm gonna truly give you some more leg room.
So this is a true executive. This is like a Rolls Royce Bentley, like you know.
Yeah. So you can kick your feet up.
What the heck? Well, I don't really want to do that because
Yeah.
my feet are dirty, but.
So you can kick your feet up through there.
But okay, so this seat doesn't have it.
No, because it's the driver.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, just pop it back up.
That's ridiculous. So you really would have did any of them come with like a curtain, or I guess you could put in like some sort of...
There are a very, very few that are stretched. And I think I'm gonna get one of those.
Like a long wheelbase kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Because the stretch version comes with a fridge.
Yeah, so full, wine, beer, whatever you want.
Yep. So next we have,
Oh, okay.
we can adjust your seat.
Okay, yeah.
You can raise the whole seat.
We're going up. And the fact that 1997, all this stuff still works. Oh, okay, here we go.
Power recline.
Grayson, we need one of these. This is insane.
So tilt your headrest.
Wow.
If you're shorter, if you're taller,
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, it's, this actually controls the front as well.
Oh, so for like the radio and whatever else?
So your air conditioning, your radio, I think that's your radio.
Yeah, so
Yep, there it
all
is.
of this is in Japanese. So I remember when we were when I was in a couple hotels near Tokyo, what I would do is I would take Google Translate out
Yep, it
and
works
use the
pretty good.
camera, and it just basically shows you on your screen exactly what all the buttons and stuff say. In English, which is kind of cool. Is this like a mic?
Yep.
Is it a microphone?
That's so you can talk to your driver.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's it's amazing the number of features that this isn't even one of the, like, there's all sorts of features that you can get for the back of the driver's seat. So like a note table so that your assistant can sit there and take notes.
Yeah.
Some of them came with a fax machine. I've heard
Of course.
that there's even one that comes with a rice cooker so that you can eat on your drive. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Still pretty rare. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got cup holders here. We've got, I guess, at the time, 97. Yeah, you just have, cassettes. No CD.
Yep.
CD
No,
changer
there's
up
a
there?
6-disc changer in the glove box.
Of course there is. I mean, it's pretty quick. Like, I was born in 93, and we're don't laugh. And so it was like we're kind of the last ones to grow up kind of without the internet, right? Or at least for the first few years growing up. But it went really quickly. I remember, from cassettes to CDs. But to have a 6-disc changer in your car in the early 2000s even is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know. Let's get to the car itself, okay? So 5-liter V12. V12s obviously are just they were built, they were put on this planet for smooth torque. That's literally what they're here for. In most scenarios. In other scenarios, the SV12s are the most high revving, the most aggressive, just screaming engines, but that's mostly for like race applications, which obviously this is not. This is far from that. Also, it's got automatic headlights. There's a sensor on the dash here for automatic headlights for 97. The mirrors are obviously mounted on the front fenders, which is super rad. Not something you see very often. Definitely a sign of the times. Also, it's got a bunch of airbags in here. Full wool. This is actually wool. Honestly, this at the top here, it's kind of gross. Definitely worn out a little bit on the top, but on the sides here, it's still got that kind of soft feel. It's so quiet. You don't even want to floor it. Well, there we go. Kick down. Oh yeah, it's quick. It's actually pretty quick. So these have actually been known, like a lot of those other Japanese cars from the era, to be dynoed actually at a much higher number, especially in the torque department, than factory, than 315 pound-feet. It feels pretty quick. The steering is laughably light. Like there's no steering feel, zero steering feel at all. It is all just, you feel it. You don't even feel anything. You literally don't really feel anything. The seats are incredibly comfortable though. I find in a car like this, like I'm having there's more joy in just poking around the interior and kind of getting comfortable than there is in the actual driving experience, which is hilarious. No, this is remarkable. This is way more beyond how insanely cloud-like I thought this was going to be. You know, you look at it from the outside, it kind of looks like a Rolls Royce, kind of has that appearance of a ultimate premium, I'm going to go sit in the back seat. But this is more to that level. This is like an 11 out of 10. And it's really not something I can put into words for you guys right here. It really just puts you in a different kind of mindset. I mean, we're doing like 120K here. And we're just floating. There's zero turbulence. There's no turbulence. It really does feel, oh my God, this is the most comfortable vehicle I've ever driven. No, I'm not even kidding you guys. This is hands down the most comfortable vehicle I've ever driven.
So, that's your massager.
Right, okay.
That's your heated seat.
Yeah.
And if you slide the tray, the ashtray open, you have an ashtray and a lighter in every single door in the car.
Wow.
Because the Japanese like to smoke.
That they do. Not as much now.
Not as much now,
but yeah.
Just like the reason that these are all in cloth, there's no there's a handful of them in the later years that came in leather. Mm-hmm. So there's no rude noises when you move in the seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no noises, you know, shuffling. Oh, I'm a little, and then you make the rude noise and farting noise or whatever it is. Nope, no rude noises.
Yeah.
So, something I just found out this morning, there is a storage bin that's hidden underneath the passenger seat.
There we go. Where does it rev to? Oh, 5,000 RPM, just past 5,000 RPM. Oh, this is rad. Tons of body roll though. This one is 100% bone stock OEM. It's just sitting on a totally factory wheel and tire setup. It's on 16s, and it's got that sidewall flex. It's got the insane comfort There is nothing on from the outside world that should be able to come into your world, your bubble here in the Century, to mess that up, okay? Pretty good throttle response though, honestly, and the gas pedal too has that kind of BMW thing in a lot of modern cars where when you get to the bottom, there's that like extra click. So obviously it is a 4-speed auto, so there's that like, you definitely want to kick down. Like, there we go. It's fast. No, it's actually really quick. It's actually a really quick car. I just like, what other car for the money can you get this much luxury and character, just period character from a luxury sedan? This is just the ultimate. If you're a 90s kid like me, if you're a Japanese kid, Japanese car fan like me that just loves nothing more than 90s Japanese cars, I mean, there's so much to find here. You could spend days, weeks, months even just getting to know every little button, and along the way, you know, things are gonna break, and then you'll have your own adventures trying to source out these parts and trying to find these parts from other areas in Japan and getting them shipped over. I mean, it would sure be a nightmare, I would imagine, to try and, you know, keep up with the maintenance on one of these, but even still, man, like... Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Dave, for bringing your car out. Definitely go follow Dave on Instagram and shoot him a message. Dave's Powder Coating. If you need something powder coated, he is your guy. And absolutely, if you're interested in purchasing this car, if you're local, it is for sale. This wasn't a sale video, but I just thought I'd let you guys know if this is your niche, this is your quirky kind of car that you want to get into, definitely hit him up. You can follow me on Instagram at Roads Untraveled as well to see what we're shooting kind of on a day-to-day basis. And subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, and we will see you very soon. Thanks again, guys.